Man, what up, y'all? You hear me? Man, today I'm about to tell y'all a story, you hear me? Cause I want to make a point about something, you hear me? About the importance of keeping it real, you hear me? And when I tell this story, I ain't gonna say no names, you hear me? But my partner out there in Texas, you already know this for you, baby. You hear me? Cause you kept it 100 and you hear me? That's why we still today like that, you hear me? For real. We were still in the hood, you hear me? One night they had a fucking shootout, you hear me? And this nigga cousin ended up getting hit. He ain't died nothing like that, but he ended up getting hit, you hear me? So his cousin brother, he ended up the get back, you hear me? The retaliation, you hear me? You already know. And when he did it broad daylight, you hear me? Right down the street from where we was, where the other shooting that happened, you hear me? Called dude, like I said, like 2 blocks away, you hear me? And I'm talking about that shit hit the news, everything. The people on the news was saying, man, whoever did it must have was an angry person, had to be personal and all this. I'm talking about, dog, the nigga had that nigga brains, dreads, everything all scattered on the rocks in the ground and shit like that, you hear me? Talking about, yeah, he blew it up, you hear me? And when my partner saw that, you hear me? Like, we had talks and shit after that. We had like real life talks after that shit, and I knew it had him up. You know what I'm saying? And instead of him trying to carry on like it didn't bother him, he kept it all the way real. And he was like, he see that this shit ain't for him. You heard me? And even back then, I never looked at it like, man, you a bitch ass. None of that. You heard me? I actually respected it more. You know what I'm saying? Because what typical niggas do, they know that shit, it ain't for them. They realize this ain't for me, but they still go on. And they'll still act like they could carry that. And they know they can't. And so when shit really get real, that be the niggas that turn on you, fool on you. You know what I'm saying? And they don't do the things that real niggas that's running that way supposed to do, right? So by him keeping it 100 and letting a nigga know, man, this ain't for me, you hear me? And I gotta get out of this. It left room for a nigga to know certain things that we can't do, certain things that, I know I ain't gonna involve you in, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna even get you caught up with because I know that you ain't comfortable with this, you hear me? And I look back on it and I'm like, damn, I kind of wish that shit would have affected me like that, cause man, I ain't lying. My son on a whole nother level. You hear me? Like my son on a whole nother level, dog. Married, kids, house, cars, about to open a business. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's like that situation had, like, it kind of made him damn near like mature overnight to know that I gotta go another route, you hear me? And like I say, I wish it would have affected me like that on some shit, you hear me? But like when that shit, it wasn't, I had been involved with different shit, you hear me? So like that shit was, like fascinating. I'm cool, I love that shit, you know what I'm saying? And I know that shit sound fucked up because I'm thinking of what I'm saying that's fucked up, you hear me? But it is what it is, you dig? But I was saying all that to say for niggas out there, bruh, ain't nothing wrong with being yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with not being comfortable with murders. Ain't nothing wrong with being like not comfortable with going to jail. Ain't nothing wrong with it, son. Like, it's not for everybody. You hear me? So the best thing to do is be honest and be real, son. And if a nigga can't accept that and respect it, then they ain't no real nigga. You hear me? So you should want to get the fuck around them anyway. You hear me? Any nigga that's trying to pressure you into being somebody that you not, that ain't no real nigga, bro. For real. They ain't no real nigga. And all them type of niggas is the niggas that be in the feds for 100 years wondering why a nigga ratted on him and all that. The nigga been throwing you so many signs that he ain't built for that, but you trying to pressure him to be something that he wasn't. And so when the fucking pressure came, he cracked. You hear me? Pressure bust pipes. You hear me? And it bust his ass up, and that's why the nigga told on it. You hear me? So when a nigga be real with you and let you know, man, this ain't for me, dog, respect that shit. You hear me? Respect that shit, and cause it's a how this motherfucker said that shit, bro. It's like everybody show you their true colors and all that, and you gotta deal with everybody accordingly. You can't go off of a certain situation that happened to you, because everybody different. Everybody handle things different. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta treat everybody accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all got these crews and shit, bro. Everybody ain't gotta be no killer. You hear me? That was the thing, how it was back in the day, son. You hear me? That's what's missing from the game. You hear me? Everybody want to be a killer. Everybody want to be a hustler. Everybody want, be a robber, all that shit. It was certain niggas that was jagging, kidnapping. It was certain niggas that was killers. It was certain niggas that was muscle they'll fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? And certain niggas gonna come in, if that ain't work, they got certain niggas gonna come and smoke it. You hear me? They got certain niggas that's gonna hustle. They got certain niggas that's gonna think. Everybody had a role to play, and everybody played their role, and that's how organizations was able to flourish so good. And it's falling apart, and niggas getting caught so fast because everybody want to be the man now, son. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Everybody want the spotlight. Like, I never wanted the spotlight. You hear me? I was cool with this nigga. Like, you the head nigga. I'm cool with that. I really love to be in the shadows. Nobody knew me. Nobody knew my name. You hear me? Cause fuck, I ain't gonna lie, bitch. When I hear me, I know what I'm gonna do to you, and you don't even know who done it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know. Part of me wish that shit could come back, dog. I wish that shit could come back to the game where everybody could play their role. Everybody could play their part, son. You hear me? For real. Just everybody stop trying to be a big dog, son. For real, bro. You hear me? Play your role, dog. Ain't nothing wrong with that, son. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Be yourself, bro. And keep it 100, man. For real. The shit was on my mind, so I said I wanted to come and talk about that, bro. I'm out.
My nigga B, he TCG, he bust your head, he don't retreat, he makes you out, he just like me. He throw all ice cream for peace, you want some options. We got Smitties, we got Glizzy, we got the mobsters. We get Dracos, got F and SD, we got options. If it's like that, fuck where we at, we get it poppin'. No crash dummin', but I crash now.